In this video, we are going to get introduced to Lightroom and break any barriers that you may have to getting started. I'll put a link right up here on how to sign up for Lightroom. It is an affiliate link, and if you follow my instructions there, you'll get both Lightroom and Photoshop. So check that out. So let's jump right into Lightroom. I have got this down to very minimal so that you can see everything in Lightroom. First thing I'm going to cover is just the basics of what's around on the screen and some things that have tripped me up over the years of using it until I learned how to use it myself. There are hidden menus. If I look at the very top here, there's an arrow. If I click on that, it will hide this menu here. If I click it, it comes back, and there's one on all four sides. If I click on this one on the right, it hides that menu on the right. If I click down here on the bottom one, it will hide the bottom of the screen. Click, it'll bring it back. If I click on the one on the left, it hides the left, and I can bring it back. I can also hit the tab key, which will remove the menus on the left and right to give me more real estate to work with. Hit tab and it'll bring it back. I show you those because it's very easy to click those by accident. So let's learn a little bit about Lightroom itself. I have Lightroom Classic menu up here. You'll have a very similar menu on a Windows machine also. If I click File, it's where you'll create a new catalog and do some other work with your catalogs. I'll do most of my editing with a different location. I very seldom use the edit menu. The library, I, again, very seldom use this. I use this mostly for creating collections, and I'll show you that workflow when we get to that. The photo, I do most of this by right-clicking on photos to get what I want, and editing. As you'll find out, you can do many things in many places that are the same. So find where you like to do it, and you can use that. Every photo has metadata. You can manage that from this screen. You can change different views, and you'll see that I will probably not use this very often. I use the on-screen prompts for that. Windows is where you can turn on and off certain menus and also do some zooming, which again, I don't use this menu much either. And of course, help is what you would expect it to be. All right, so let's learn how to navigate around the screen. The left side, we have some options here, but let's start up here at the top. I only have library, develop, and print. There are more options, but these are the ones I use most of the time. So I've hidden the others. So if I right click on this, you can see I've hidden most of them, or at least half of them. So I click show all, it will all show up. I don't use them all. I always have library and develop. I very seldom use map. So if I right click and click map, that will hide that. Very seldom use book, so I'll hide that one. I don't use slideshow, so I'll hide that one. And I'm not using the web, and I don't print very often, but I'll keep that one there. So I have library, develop, and print. Choose what you want, keep them all, or just the ones you want. But this makes it easier for me. Over on this side, while we are in library, it looks like this. If I click on develop, you'll notice that it will change. So let's go back to the library. Some of them are the same, navigators on both of them, but not all of them are there. For example, if I go to folders and collections, I can see both of them there. If I go to develop, and let's collapse all these. As you notice, we have arrows to collapse all these. I have collections, but I do not have folders. So you can very easily see how you can get lost by, I know I have folders, where did they go? It could be as simple as you're in the develop module, not the library module. Think of these like going to a library. If you go to the library, there are books everywhere, and you can check them out. Just like in Lightroom for a catalog, there are photos everywhere, and you can check out any of them at any time. But if you want to work with them, like in a library, you want to work on it by reading a book, you check out the book and you take it. Well, if you want to work on a photo, you go to develop and you develop that photo, and you'll get the editing menus on the right here. I go to library, it's more information about the file, not editing the file. There's a quick develop that you can do some things. I'm not going to get to that today. Histogram, if you have a photo selected, it will show you if the photo is available. We can do keywording on the photos. We can look at the keyword lists that are available, the metadata that's on the photo, and add comments to the photos. So that's what that screen's for. So while we are in the library, you'll notice way down here in the bottom left-hand corner is an import and an export. The export's grayed out because I have no photos highlighted. This is where we bring photos into the library. We don't bring them in through the develop. The library is where you catalog all your books or catalog all your photos. So this is where you would import photos. And we'll cover that in the next video on how to get photos in. Down towards the bottom, we do have some more options down here. I'll tell you where you are located. I'm in my photos folder. I have 0 photos selected. And here's some filters to work on your photos to mark them such that you can find them later. If they're your favorite photos, you might give it a 5-star. There are some other options, but we'll talk about that when I get into culling photos. I'll put a link up top in the top right-hand corner for how I cull photos. It's an old video. I will remake that, but it's good for right now. And once I update that video, I'll update that link as well. So as you can see, Lightroom can be rather large to learn, a lot of things to do, a lot of places to click. You can hide menus, you can lose menus. You'll wonder where things are because you're not in the right module. You're in the develop versus library, things like that. That's where I got tripped up the most. So I'll share with you what gave me the most difficulty, and you may be just like me and have that same difficulty. So hopefully I answer those questions. Do me a favor, use the link I gave you before to sign up for Lightroom. Hopefully we can get past some barriers and you can learn along with me and catch up. So this is Doug Gabbard practicing photography, getting better one photo at a time, and I'll see you next time.